Hello there, and welcome to day 114. 114. My name is Mary, and today's title is David and Jonathan's Son. As soon as the kings around Israel saw that a strong man was ruling over Israel, they began to make war on David because they didn't want Israel to be strong. So David had to fight many wars. The Moabites, who lived on the east of the Dead Sea, went to war with David. But David conquered them and made Moab submit to Israel. Far in the north, the Syrians came against David, but he won great victories over them, took Damascus, their chief city, and held it as part of his kingdom. In the south, he made war on the Edomites and brought them under his rule. For a number of years, David was constantly at war, but at last he was at peace. The ruler of all the land from the Euphrates to the wilderness and from the great desert to the great sea, all these lands were under the rule of King David, except the people of Tyre and Sidon, who lived beside the great sea on the north of Israel. These people never made war on Israel, and their king, Hiram, was one of David's best friends. The men of Tyre cut down cedar trees for David, brought them to Jerusalem, and built the place that became David's home. Once David's wars were over, he remembered the promise he had made to his friend Jonathan, Saul's son, and he asked the men at his court, "Are any of Saul's family living? So I can show them kindness for the sake of Jonathan?" They told David of Saul's servant, Ziba, who was in charge of Saul's farm in the country, and David sent for him. Ziba had become a rich man from caring for the lands that had belonged to Saul. David said to Ziba, "Are any of Saul's family living to whom I can show some of the kindness God has shown toward me?" Ziba replied, "Saul's son, Jonathan, left a little boy named Mephibosheth, who is now grown up and lives to the east of Jordan. This child was in the arms of his nurse when the news came that Jonathan was dead. The nurse fled with him to hide from the Philistines, and in running, she fell. The child's feet were injured, and he grew up lame. David sent for Mephibosheth, who was afraid he was going to be killed, until David said to him, "Mephibosheth, you need have no fear. I will be kind to you because I loved Jonathan, your father, and he loved me. You shall have all the land that ever belonged to Saul and his family, and you shall always sit at my table in the royal palace." Then the king called Ziba, Saul's servant, and said to him, "All the lands and houses that once belonged to Saul I have given to Mephibosheth, You care for them and bring the harvest to him. Mephibosheth will live here with me and eat at the king's table with the princess of the kingdom. So Mephibosheth, Jonathan's lame son, was taken into David's palace and sat at the king's table. And Ziba, with his 15 sons and 20 servants, waited on him and obeyed his orders. This kindness might have brought trouble to David, for Mephibosheth might have been the king if David had not won the crown. By giving Saul's grandson a place at his table and showing him honor, David might have helped him take the kingdom away from himself. If Mephibosheth had wanted the throne of Israel, but David was generous, and Mephibosheth was happy with his place in the palace. And that was the word of the Lord. Now we come to our discussion questions. Number 1. What did David have to do when the kings of other nations found out that he was a strong king? Again, what did David have to do when the kings of other nations found out that he was a strong king? Number 2, what had David promised Saul? Did he remember that promise? Number 2, 2 parts. What had David promised Saul? That was the first part. Second part, did he remembered about that promise? Number 3, why was it dangerous for David to be kind to Mephibosheth? Why was it dangerous for David to be kind to Mephibosheth? Number 4, do you think David's kindness pleased God? Do you think David's kindness pleased God? And that was the end of our day 114. Thank you again for being there. May God bless us all, and we'll meet here again soon. Bye for now.